Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Advice Corner. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like this video, and don't forget to leave a comment below. So today we're going to be talking about what you can expect when you get back to campus, and you are to be specific because that's where I'm enrolled, so that's why I kind of like have information about how things are going. So without any waste of time, let's get into today's video.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Okay, the first thing that you can expect when you get back to campus, I'm gonna first explain the procedure about when you first come back and everything. So when you come back for the first time, when you're actually from home, you have to provide your permit when you arrive at the gate. You have to make sure that you provide your permit, and then you also have to provide your student card, and they're gonna check your student card against a list of the people that were issued permits to come back at that particular day. So this means that you don't have to take any chances, because if you come back and that's not your date to come back, you won't be in the list and you won't be allowed to come in. So when you come back, they're gonna do that and to make sure that you were issued a permit to come back. And then after that, they're gonna give you a mask and a sanitizer. And then if you reside off camp, you do not like have to enter. You can collect those things and then go back to your room. And if you reside on campus, you're gonna have to sanitize before you enter. And then you have to do that thing, yeah, the USSD self-check, COVID self-check, what you have to do that thing, and then they're gonna screen you, ask you some few questions.
Right now I'm at the gate. As you can see, there's a queue, and then at like this tent that you see over there is where you have to provide your permit. They're gonna give you a mask and a sanitizer. Then this is where they're gonna check if you really have a room on campus and a permit.
And then after that, you're gonna go to your room, and when you get to the room, they're gonna request your student card again. You have to make sure that you provide your student card, and then they're gonna like check your student card against the room list at your residence entrance to make sure that you are like you do have a room in this residence or in that particular residence. So that's what they do. And then they actually check that every time when you come in. They always check if you have a room in here. So it's a pity for those who were squatting and those who were renting rooms on campus. It's a pity because like they don't have their student numbers in the list. So if you were squatting, you won't be allowed to enter. And another thing that you can expect if you reside off campus, you have to make sure that you provide your permit every time when you come in. They have to check you on the list of the people that are already back on campus, those that are already permitted to come back on campus. So if you're going on camp, maybe you want to go to the academic side, you want to go and write an exam or a test, they always have to check you and check if you're permitted to come back, and then that's when you're going to be allowed to enter into the premises. Apart from that, if you don't have the permit and you're not on the list, they're not going to allow you to come in. Another thing that you can expect, it's like a whole load of queues. Like we queue every time when you go outside the gate. When you come back, you're gonna have to queue. That's if there's a queue. There's usually a queue in the evening because that's where most of the students go out to buy food. And speaking of which, yesterday I was on a queue. I went to buy bread and I was studying. Then I started feeling like I was starving, so I had to go outside get some bread. And when I came back from buying the bread, there was like a long queue. The queue was so long, and it was around about 200 to 300 people queuing for coming in. Mind you, the procedure, they have to take the student card, check it against the room number, and then you sanitize, you come in. When you get to the room, they do the same thing. And it was so cold and windy. This thing of queues is not good at all. They do these things, like this thing of checking student card and room numbers. They do that all the time, in the morning, during the day, in the evening. They do it all the time, and they don't care if you have to go and study, or it's cold, or you're starving. Bruh, the queue is so long. Like, you can even finish a whole grocery. You can even buy a quarter and finish it while you are on the queue. Like, the queues are so long, more especially in the evening. So if maybe you plan to go and get something, I'd advise you to go during the day, because in the evening the queues are so tiring. And another thing that you can expect is that you have to make sure that you put on your mask all the time. You don't have to forget your mask. If you're going to write a test, or you have a tutorial, or anything in J, you have to make sure that every time when you go in public areas, you put on your mask. And you have to make sure that you always have a mask with you, so that when you forget one, you will have one. Like, just put a mask in your purse or somewhere, so that you can like be like, oh, I have one here. You can always be safe. Because speaking of which, this other day I was going that side here, the class, the academic side, and then I came across this guy. I didn't know this guy, and he was wearing a lab coat. I think he's studying BSc in health science and what, because the guy kept saying, I have a test to write and I'm late. I'm writing at DH. I was like, DH, there's no hall or any class or any auditorium by that name, DH. But then after that, I figured out that the guy might be writing at Department of Health, because the guy was wearing, smart, looking all smart, and wearing a lab coat. The guy said to me, hello. I was like, hi. And he said, can you please give me your mask? I forgot my mask and I'm already late. There is transport waiting for me wherever, so I have to get there like right now, and I don't have my mask with me. So I was like, guy, you forgot your mask. You want me to give you mine? Imagine, like, I was like, yeah, I was like, please, I'm late. Then I was like, okay, it's fine. So I took off my mask and gave it to that guy. I was like, yeah, but then he wanted to ride, eh? But then when I came back to my room and I was thinking about the whole thing, I was like, God, the guy was so willing to risk his health. Pella, what if I was infected? What if I was infected with the infection, the COVID-19? But then he risked his health for his academics. That's something. That calls for something, eh? But then, yeah, so you have to make sure that you always have a mask with you. And another thing that you can expect is that the other things, academics, the tasks, the exams still run. They still run just like under normal circumstances. There are no changes on the syllabus or curriculum. If you have heard of anything such as curriculum trimming, you don't have to expect that. And another thing that you expect when you sit for an exam, like they were like, today when I wrote my exam, there were like 3 chairs in between, so you see there's no chance of doing any funny stuff. So I hope you guys are still good, and I'm still hanging in here. And I haven't been posting according to my schedule because I was actually busy with my exams. I was like, the pressure was too much. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a comment below about what's happening in your campus, what people can expect when they come back to your campus. Please subscribe, guys. It's free. It doesn't cost a thing. Thank you so much for subscribing, and you are appreciated. This is your girl at V. Until we meet again.